Picture for a moment Henry. Henry has been applying for so many jobs. Henry finally lands an internship. He gets to the office. He thought this was the hardest part about the internship. But lo and behold, a colleague tells Henry at lunchtime that he needs to know who to trust and who to work with. Hello, welcome once again to another episode of Talk, Share and Inspire. Today we are going to talk about corporate politics. Think about Henry for 1 second. Henry was just facing corporate politics. And these are things that you have probably encountered. And I am joined today by two amazing guests. They will tell us probably they have conquered corporate politics and they're going to give us strategies and tips on how to go about it. If you're joining or watching this conversation on Hope Media Network, karibu sana, and you can also find us in the social media handles displayed down below. And without further ado, allow me to introduce our guests for this conversation, Becky and Victor. Karibuni sana. Thank you so much for joining with us today. I'd like for you guys to introduce yourselves, tell us who you are and tell us what you do for a living.
Okay, thank you, Erika. I'm called Victor Wekesa. I practice telecommunications engineering, which I've done for the last 9 years. I work for a telecommunications company in Kenya.
Okay.
Thank you.
What is telecommunication engineering once again?
Telecommunications engineering, we are the people who ensure you can call in peace your mom in the village. So we're in charge of the network to ensure the cellular network where you can call, where you can access the internet. We keep things moving in the background so you can have a good experience.
So if we do not have Wi-Fi, we can blame you.
There's times when I'm the solution.
All right.
Yes,
Wow, thank you so much for that. And yes, Becky, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So good to see you after a long time.
Good to see you too. Becky Arunga Omondi is my name. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and I practice as a prosecutor.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so I routinely deal with criminal cases. And I'm a civil servant, so I'm working for the government of Kenya in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions.
Wow.
Yes.
So if we hear someone has been sentenced to life imprisonment,
Yes.
you have something to do
I
with
had
that.
something to do with that.
Wow, and you sleep peacefully.
If the family of the person that was killed or the person that has been affected is sleeping peacefully, why not?
Wow.
Why not?
Wow. If you bring it from that angle, I have nothing more to say. All right. So thank you so much for that very elaborate introduction. Now let's get into the conversation. Maybe I'll start with you, Victor. What is corporate politics?
All right. Corporate politics is a concept that can be applied to many circumstances, but in the context of this, it is attempts by people within the working space to gain undue advantage through manipulation, through bullying, through coercion, through basically non-standard professional growth means to get advantage over other colleagues. So it will take different forms, but at the end of the day, this is an exercise that leads the perpetrators of it to gain some advantage of sorts, real or imagined. And so it cuts across the entire organization.
No, maybe we could, I'm trying to think of an example of corporate politics. You'll tell me if I am, if I'm in the right direction.
Okay.
So once again, I'm going to use Henry in this case. Henry just got an internship and he gets there. And Henry is in finance, okay? So Henry is the person who approves, his job is to approve invoices and things like that. And then there's Victor. Victor, who is supposed to be, Victor is just an outsider, or Victor is the procurement person, okay, at the office. So Victor we need to procure things for this organization, and then Victor knows somebody outside. So Victor goes and tells Henry that, you know what, I have somebody who can do this job. Is that corporate politics?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, in the context that if you have somebody who you feel is good enough for the job, then you should back them, to apply in the normal way, to come and get it done.
Okay.
That is one way. That's how it should be done. But then, on the other hand, as well, it could be that you've interacted with this person before in a different encounter, and there's no material benefit to you as a person, but you just want well for your organization. So you recommend that they can be considered in that pool, without necessarily saying give them the job.
Okay.
So it can be looked at it either way.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Yes, and maybe, I don't know, Becky, if you have a different example. If you do, you can give it to us, and then also join the conversation with why do corporate politics exist even in the first place?
Thanks a lot. At the heart of corporate politics is the desire to undermine. And now this happens in various forms and ways. It could be socially, it could be financially, it could be professionally, all because in the workspace there is diversity, and so people are trying to coexist, yet at the very heart of it is that we all want to be at the top. And so you either want to exist by being better than someone in the wrong way, or trying to influence people against someone in a particular manner.
Okay.
So it's really, at the heart of it is undermining. I have seen Erica has friends, and I don't want Erica's light to continue shining. So anyone who joins, I need to tell them that Erica is a bad person.
Oh, okay.
Or I want Erica out of some trips. So what would I do is to sabotage and ensure they don't get it, because it will finally feed into their appraisal and their performance system or framework. So that at the heart of corporate politics is human nature, desire to undermine, the desire to be better, and to bring out that you are the best.
Okay.
So that someone comes across and says, I am your go-to person. Why? Because they want to take advantage of someone else. And when you have interns around, you've already identified one who can work well. You definitely want them to be doing your job as you read your newspapers. Or you might want to ensure that so-and-so doesn't give them work. So you hoard them all together. And so corporate politics manifests in various forms. And from where I see it, I feel like it's human beings expressing the things in them in the corporate space because no one is related to them, if we may say so.
Oh, okay.
So you feel like I don't owe anyone. It's just, let me do my job and go home regardless of what I do. So that's how it might manifest. And it affects the least from the one person working in an M-Pesa shop to someone working in an organization with over 1,000 staff. There are levels. Today you bring for me mandazi, tomorrow you don't. The day after you don't collect my trash, you do this. So it goes into those, it can get that petty.
Wow.
And it can go that high where now I undermine even your family members because I want that one position of the CEO.
Okay.
So it's diverse.
At the heart of corporate politics is our innate nature of being selfish.
Yes.
All right. So I thought there's good corporate politics. I mean, from what you explained, I've always really seen corporate politics as a very negative connotation. But there's one where you explained, let's say, for instance, I'm in training and development, and you know that your organization is looking for trainers to build their capacity on a certain thing, and there's no way you're going to benefit financially from it, and you recommend me for that. So actually, is that really corporate politics?
Yeah, which is thank you for that. I believe at the start and at the end of this whole concept of corporate politics is a desire to undermine.
Okay.
So if what you seek to do undermines others unfavorably towards benefit of another, then that is politics. That's corporate politics.
Okay.
But in the context of, in fact, where I work at times, you are told if you know, let's say, good employees elsewhere who you feel will add value to this organization, you can recommend them.
Yeah,
In
so
fact, it
that
comes
one-
from the HR.
Oh, that
yeah.
is actually not undermining.
Yes,
going
it's
to be
not.
beneficial.
Yes,
so that's
yes,
not
yes.
corporate
No,
politics.
it's not.
Oh,
It's not.
So
Yeah.
corporate politics is where someone is going to be undermined.
It's
Yes.
largely negative.
Negative,
The statement
yes.
is largely negative in
Yes,
form and
yes,
substance.
yes.
Thank you so much
yes.
for that.
Yes.
And then let's now get personal. Have you guys encountered corporate politics? Maybe I'll start with you, Becky.
That's putting me on the spot. But I have, without being the subject of the corporate politics, as it were, I have observed, yeah, and I have seen in instances where you're dealing with people who are extremely good at their work, but they are not of the rank that is required for that job. Yeah, and that happens a lot in government setups. And so you might
So I'm an intern, but I'm so good. I should be a maybe
not say intern, because let's say a junior officer,
junior
entry
officer.
level staff. You're good at what you're doing so much, you have the right or whatever, you have the right and capacity to own that particular document. But then you'd find that your boss just takes it up and runs with it like it's their own document.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, you have nothing to report that you have done, because every work you have done has gone in the name of your boss. Yet it is expected that you also have something for yourself. So how do you, when you find yourself in such a state, you are always coming to work, but there's no evidence to show for it.
Hold that thought. Yes. Hold that thought. Hold that thought, until we get to that place of someone is going through such a situation, how do they get themselves out of it?
Yeah.
Yes.
The other alternative also, while addressing corporate politics, is really where you have someone who has the role, but they're failing to act. So you really usually have to step in to assist them. But when you assist, fine, they'll still take up the glory, but they'll also portray you to colleagues as though you have been, you are the one who takes the people's jobs.
Oh.
Statements like this come across. You think this is your father's house? This is just a workplace. Just do your job and go home. Why are you putting work in your heart? So that excellence is being pitted in bad light. You even fear giving your absolute best, because people are going to use it against you and say that you're commending yourself to the supervisor. And so you are at a loss on, should I give my absolute best or should I just give a
bare minimum?
Bare minimum. So now there's a narrative about bare minimum. You go to church, you're told, give your best. So you are caught in the mix. And so this plays around any other time, when we are in our workspaces.
Okay, wow.
Yes.
Victor, do you have a personal experience of corporate politics? Remember, we want to inspire.
True.
Whoever is watching, to say that these are things, it's normal. These are things that actual people have gone through.
True. So in one of my previous forms of employment, you'll go to a place where you are, let's say you're headhunted. You're headhunted to do a certain role in an organization. But when you come...
I usually say, when you get to the point where you're being headhunted, you made it.
So
they're like, look for Becky. Becky can do that job.
Yeah. So when you get to an organization, and of course there are other people there, probably even coming, had the same rank as you, but you see, when you come, you haven't come from an island. So there's a certain level you are coming in at. But unbeknown to you, when you arrive there, the level you've come is higher than what is prevailing there. Let's say probably your terms are different than theirs. Yours is better. And then, for some strange reason, they get wind of it, So in that context, you are not seen as a regular colleague. You are seen as one who's come to disrupt the status quo, and you've come with so to speak, a state of feeling better than them.
Superior.
You're superior than them. So that way now, in the course of your work, maybe in the reporting structures, you get to see you are treated differently by your colleagues, especially at your level, because they feel you don't belong, that you are it's like you're eating their cake that they should also be eating.
They're wondering, like, we've been here for
Yes.
5 years.
Yes.
You just arrived.
Yes.
And you have better terms than us.
Exactly.
Trust me, if I was in that colleague,
Yes.
in that office and I'm
Yes.
not a Christian,
Yes.
I'd treat you the same.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Although, see, now at the end of the day, I didn't bring myself there, and I didn't even know what they get.
You are so good that you're headhunted.
Yes, I'm running my own race. You know, you run your own race. So when you get there, their races apparently were not at the level that you are at. So you become a victim of circumstance. So you face challenges that are attendant to that challenge. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And so what are some of the challenges that an individual can encounter if they're going through this process of work politics?
One of the things that really stand out is that in the first instance, you lose for a moment you might lose hope in humanity.
Oh,
Because you're constantly bombarded with, in this particular office, do not be a friend to anyone. How? You spend 8 hours there. How are you not going to be a friend to anyone? In this particular office, don't tell someone what you're going through. How? You showed up in the office in the morning and you were hard pressed to speak.
yeah.
Then at the next office meeting, you're told, oh, people, don't die silently.
We are a family. in this is a safe place. And then you go to Instagram or you meet another and they're like, the HR is not for you. Do not make a mistake of telling the HR what you're going through.
True.
Yeah.
So you find yourself in that particular mix, or you get people having a lot of issues. You might find yourself performing below par, and even wondering whether that's really what makes your life tick, because you are used to a particular standard of life, but now you are too good. You want to tone down your goodness, or you're as friendly as you. And then people have gotten ideas about that. And so
Yes.
now you're being told, tone
especially
down
me.
on your friendliness. And these are things you're grappling with. How do I now separate from me, the person, and adopt this corporate version that you're creating in me that is totally undisclosed from my contract of employment?
Yeah.
Neither is it available in any HR policy. So it is not even something that I can use at my performance and say, I have become less friendly.
As a KPI.
Yeah, I no longer share in the office. You know, I stick to my 8 to 5. It's these things that are unwritten, non-existential, separate, wholly detached from what you are as a person. And such a challenge can lead to a lot of, it can be mental wellness issues, sickness of health or health issues of all sorts, and even professionally you might feel like you are downtrodden.
I think just to pick up on that, what the main challenge that corporate politics brings is that you lose meritocracy. You see, if somebody came there
What
to
is
work,
meritocracy again?
that means
merit.
you are being, like you are being rewarded for what you've done. Let's say you are my colleague and we have set KPIs at the beginning of the financial year, whatever period. So let's say we all achieve them, all right? Probably I even do better than you in terms of, the delivery. But then when it comes to, let's say, increment, for example, you get more than me, all right? You see, that will discourage me from working as hard.
Yes.
Because then I know that my hard work is not going, it doesn't pay.
Yes.
So then you lose good staff when you encourage corporate politics to thrive. You understand? Because now the staff are like, just do your bare minimum and go home.
And they're constantly looking for opportunities.
Exactly.
Yo, wow. Yeah, I saw some, like, I remember once I saw a video that when you're on Monday, it's a strategic meeting, and the boss is like, we are a family here, and you've just applied to 10 other families. Because you corporate politics has made you feel so insecure.
Yes.
You don't want to be there for so long.
Yes.
So, my friends, we have so far seen that these are normal things. These are things that happen. Is there anything that has been said that you relate to? Please tell us in the comment section. And now, guys, I want, after talking about the problem, the challenges, what are some of the actionable steps someone can can take who is currently going through corporate politics, now that we've already identified that thing that I'm going through, that is actually corporate politics? Maybe I'd start with you, Becky.
From what I have done, or what I have applied myself to, is one, to recognize that those situations exist, because it's human nature. So that when I'm addressing myself to them, I'm not coming from a place of a victim, but I'm addressing them as someone who is informed. And so I usually ask myself, what is my role according to my letter of employment? What are my terms of service? What must I do to get to my next level or to develop professionally? Then I ask myself, this is part of my wider professional network. What is expected of me? I am in the justice system. So beyond my profession, beyond my colleagues, I deal with police officers, judicial staff, probation, and all other people in society. So what matters is not just how my colleagues in the prosecution office view me, but my entire perception in the justice system. And so I would be able to address myself, and once I've addressed myself to my terms of reference, then what do I need to do? I need to do my job well.
Yes.
The standard is in the Bible. Whatsoever your hand finds to do it with all your might.
Amen.
So that is the standard. So there's nothing about me giving the bare minimum and going because that office is not my father's. It belongs to God. That's fine.
It belongs to your Father in heaven.
Yes, and that requires my absolute best. Now, after I've given my absolute best to particular work, then I shun gossip. I shun gossip and undermining talk. What business do I have in engaging in whether Erika is friendly or not? Let me be the judge of my own self. Let me judge the situation, whether Erika is a good person or not. Let it be on me to determine, without me importing other people's views to it. And then one very important thing that I've really learned is that do not make anyone feel less, however excellent you are. I have had to be in spaces where I should not have been because I'm a junior officer. But when I have seen the seniors around, I recognize that they are senior. And so even if I know everything I needed to know about a particular issue, I'll just go back and ask them, what is your thought on this? Even if they have been bypassed and have been given something to do, I will go back and ask them, I have done this, what do you think? Why? So that the seniors feel, because our profession is very seniority related, the seniors would feel that their voices has been heard, they have been given a chance, without me always operating top level with the boss directly in a manner that makes them feel undermined. So it requires a lot of intentional intelligence on your part. You're already bright enough, you've been unpicked. You need not prove it to anyone else. Now just use your brightness to manage the relationship around so that everyone gets their space. If your boss is dealing with you and is telling you, bypassing your immediate supervisor, you can say, maybe when you're talking, you can say, I was speaking to so-and-so, this is what she said. Oh, she said that. Bring them in. So that you're able, even the boss is aware that even though they are dealing with you directly, you are still dealing with so-and-so, so that you are true to your reporting structures. Should your boss leaves, another man who knows Joseph would come.
another
yes,
Pharaoh.
Another Pharaoh. And if you had not been dealing with these other positions or other these officers, well, they are going now to cut you off completely.
For sure.
That person that is giving you those privileges is not going to be in that position forever. So abide by the organization structure as regards to communication, so that everyone feels like they are not undermined or left out. Even if it is obvious that the boss is favoring you, let the boss know through your practice, your little nuances, that you have been engaging with even this other head or this other person. So that at the end of the day, you're in good books with your boss, but even these heads can trust you to involve them where they should rightly be involved.
Awesome. Yeah. I love that. You know why that is very profound? Because often we use something called weaponized incompetence. You can do the job, but then because this is how things work here, let me just look like I cannot do the job. We have been reminded and admonished I must work the works of he who sent me.
While it is still day.
Yes, you are just do your best wherever you find yourself. And corporate politics is closely tied with integrity. And maybe Victor, you could tell us, how do you still balance corporate politics while still remaining a person of integrity?
Now, to your question of how to balance integrity and corporate politics, it is important for you to appreciate what the Word of God says. Mm-hmm. The Bible says in Colossians 3:23 and 24 that when you work as though you're working for God and not for man.
Yeah.
So at the end
I love
of the
way
day,
that has been constantly echoed.
At the end of the day, know that of course you are there to earn bread, but at the end of the day you're also representing Christ in that organization. Yes. So you apply yourself, as she said, you have your KPIs, you have what you came out to do in that organization. Mm-hmm. Please stick to them, but know that you are serving God, even in that exercise. So cut no corners, do your honest part. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the day also, do something that we call be busy. Most of these things come because you are not busy. You are lazy. There's some space in between your day where you detour to.
For gossip.
Exactly.
You're not assigned work.
Assign yourself work. Keep busy, study, take courses, be busy. Be busy.
Yeah,
be busy.
wow.
The devil tempts the idol.
They say, is that really okay? I've heard an idle mind is the devil's work.
Yes,
is
yes.
that from the Bible? But it's true.
No,
though?
it's not.
Yeah.
From experience.
Yes, that if you stay idle, the devil is going to find things to do with you.
Yes.
So maybe you've been a victim of corporate politics because you've not learned how to know the sources of power. You don't know who is who. That is very important for you to know. And also remember, it's your Father's world. So it is your Father's office. So do the best while still at it. Very quickly, because of time, 10 seconds parting shots. Start with you, Becky.
No one can take away your absolute best. Just give it day by day and do yourself a favor, because doing your best is actually self-love.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
All right. For me, I would say, remember what took you to that organization and stick at it. Don't be sidetracked. Focus on the straight and narrow, and you will emerge victorious at the end of it, in spite of the politics.
Okay, yes. Thank you so much. Anytime I think about corporate politics, I cannot help but think about Joseph. Joseph got himself in situations where corporate politics worked against him, and he had to go to prison. But this guy, he remained faithful unto the end. So your only part, the only thing you have to do is to do your job, remain faithful, and God is going to sort out the rest. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us, and join us in another episode of Talk, Share, and
Inspire.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.